Right now, while you're watching this, your body is quietly deciding what to do with everything you ate today. Burn it for fuel or bury it on your waste. And for most people, it's been choosing bury for years on autopilot without anyone telling them they had a say. That decision isn't random and it isn't permanent. It runs on a switch, a real and measurable one. And the unsettling part is how easily it gets flipped the wrong way. A splash of milk in your coffee, a handful of crackers at 10 p.m., one short night of sleep. Tiny things, and they quietly keep you locked in storage mode. So let me answer the big question before you start wondering where this is going. Can a single 24-hour routine really help your body burn fat and switch on repair? No. One day won't melt away years of stubborn weight, and anyone who promises that is selling something. But one well-built day can flip several metabolic switches that decide whether you store energy, burn fat, or start clearing out worn-out cell parts. That part is real, and the science behind it is far more interesting than the hype you've been fed. So what's actually happening under the hood? For the first several hours after you eat, your body runs on sugar. Your liver keeps a backup tank of carbohydrate called glycogen, and as long as that tank has fuel in it, your body has zero reason to touch your fat stores. This is the thing most people miss. You cannot out-exercise a topped-up sugar tank. Now watch what happens when you stop feeding it. Somewhere past the 12-hour mark of not eating, that liver glycogen runs low, and your body flips into a different mode. It starts pulling fatty acids out of storage and burning them for energy. Researchers call this the metabolic switch, and a 2019 review in the New England Journal of Medicine laid out exactly how it works. Glycogen drops, fat gets mobilized, and your cells start acting like they're in repair mode instead of storage mode.
And this surprised me the first time I read it. When food stops coming in, your cells switch on a cleanup process called autophagy. The word just means self-eating. Your cells round up damaged, junky proteins and broken parts, break them down, and recycle them into something useful. Think of it like the night shift janitor finally getting the building to himself after everyone clocks out. He can't really clean while the office is full and busy. He needs the place quiet. There's a smaller player here too, your mitochondria, the tiny engines inside your cells that actually turn fat into usable energy. When you're in that fasted, fat-burning state, they get a chance to tidy up and run more efficiently. That's a big part of why people often report steadier energy on this kind of schedule once their body adjusts instead of the usual afternoon crash. This is also where the repair angle comes in, and I want to be honest with you here. A 2018 study from MIT found that a 24-hour fast doubled the regenerative capacity of intestinal stem cells. That was in mice, not people, so nobody can promise you'll regrow anything overnight. But the mechanism behind it is the same fat-burning switch we just talked about, and it points to something real. Quiet, fasted, fat-burning conditions seem to be when the body does its best repair work. So why do most people struggle with this? Two reasons, and both are fixable. First, they snack. A handful of nuts here, a splash of milk in the coffee there, a late bowl of cereal. Every one of those tiny bites tops the sugar tank back up and slams the fat-burning switch shut. You were 40 minutes from burning fat, and you reset the clock without knowing it. Second, people go too hard. They try to fast all day, crush a brutal workout, skip sleep, and white-knuckle it through it. Then they're miserable by noon and quit by 3. The body reads all that stress as an emergency and dumps out cortisol. And cortisol tells your body to hold on to fat, not release it. This is why someone can eat clean, train hard, and still not lose the belly. Stress quietly cancels the math.
So let's do it the calm way instead. A doable 24-hour reset that works with your biology instead of fighting it. I'll walk you through it hour by hour. Stick around for the sleep part near the end because that's the piece almost everyone underrates, and it might be the most important hour of the whole day. Start the night before. Eat a normal, satisfying dinner, finish it by around 8 p.m., and then stop. No dessert, no snacks, no late grazing. That last meal is your starting line. The earlier you finish, the more of your fast you spend asleep, which is the easiest fasting you'll ever do because you're unconscious for most of it. Set out a big bottle of water for the morning. And if you drink caffeine, plan your last cup for early afternoon because caffeine has a long tail and can wreck the sleep you're going to need. Now the day itself. You wake up, and you don't eat. This is your fasting window, and the goal is simple. Keep that sugar tank low so your body keeps burning fat. You can drink water, plain black coffee, or plain tea, nothing with calories. This is where people sabotage themselves without realizing it. A splash of cream or a spoon of sugar breaks the fast. Even a protein shake counts as eating. If it has calories, it flips the switch back to storage, so keep it black. Hydration matters more than people expect. When your insulin drops during your fast, your kidneys flush out water and salt, and that's usually what's behind the headache or the wobbly feeling people blame on hunger. So, drink water through the morning and add a small pinch of salt or a simple electrolyte mix. That one move fixes most of the discomfort people quit over. Aim to break your fast around noon, which gives you roughly a 16-hour fast from that 8 p.m. dinner. That's the window where the research starts to show real metabolic benefit, and it's gentle enough that almost anyone can manage it.
One detail here genuinely shifts your results. When you do eat, front-load your day. There's strong human research showing that eating earlier, when your body handles sugar best, beats cramming your biggest meal into the night. A 2018 trial found that people who ate in alignment with their morning body clock improved their insulin sensitivity and blood pressure even when they didn't lose a single pound. Your body is simply better at handling food in daylight. Work with that. When you break the fast, lead with protein. Eggs, fish, chicken, yogurt, whatever you like. Protein keeps you full, protects your muscle, and steadies your appetite for the rest of the day. And a quick note on timing, because it trips people up. Protein during your fasting window restarts the clock and pulls you out of that deep repair state, so save it for your eating window, not your black coffee morning. Then, after that first meal, do the single most underrated thing on this whole list. Go for a walk, 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. A 2022 research review found that a short, easy walk after eating lowers your blood sugar more than just sitting there, sometimes by a lot. You don't need a punishing workout. A relaxed stroll after meals can do more for your glucose control than a gym session you dread, because it catches the sugar right when it hits your blood. If you want a little more, add a short strength stimulus, not an hour of lifting, a few sets of squats, push-ups, or a couple of resistance moves. A brief muscle signal tells your body to send fuel toward your muscles and away from fat storage. 10 focused minutes is plenty. And now the part I told you to wait for. Sleep. People treat sleep like the thing you sacrifice to fit everything else in. With fat loss, that's exactly backwards. There's a well-known study where dieters ate the same calories but slept different amounts. The ones who slept enough lost mostly fat. The ones who skimped lost mostly muscle, and they were hungrier the next day. Same diet, the only variable was sleep, and it cut their fat loss by more than half. Part of that is hormonal. Your deepest sleep is when your body releases most of its growth hormone, the signal that drives tissue repair and fat use overnight. Short the sleep and you short the repair, so protect those hours. Cool, dark room, no screens right before bed, last coffee in the early afternoon like we said. One optional add-on, and only if you enjoy it. A brief cold finish on your shower or some sauna time if you have one can give a small extra nudge. Keep it short and comfortable. Skip it entirely if you have any heart condition, and don't treat it as the main event. The food timing, the walking, and the sleep are the real engine. Everything else is a rounding error. Before you try this, a few honest mistakes to dodge. Feeling hungry does not mean you're burning fat. Hunger comes in waves and passes. Don't use it as a fuel gauge. And don't expect a clean on-off switch. Fat burning ramps up slowly. It isn't a light you flip, which is the whole point. Consistency beats intensity here. One calm reset you can repeat beats one heroic day you never want to see again. And this isn't for everyone. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, if you've struggled with disordered eating, if you have diabetes or take blood sugar medication, or if you're managing any serious condition, talk to your doctor before fasting. This is general information, not a prescription, and there's no shame in getting the green light first. So there it is. Finish dinner early, drink your water, hold the cream, break the fast around noon, eat your protein, take the walk. Move a little, then sleep like it's your job. One quiet day that nudges your body out of storage mode and toward burning and repair. You're not forcing anything. You're just clearing away what was getting in the way.
If you found this video informative, drop a quick yes in the comments. It genuinely motivates us to keep making videos like this one. Then try the reset for yourself and tell me how your first 24 hours go.